Right, let's load everything up. There's AJ Gordonani. There we are. Load up YouTube so we know what's cracking. There we are, we've got it live. Hello everybody and welcome to the first round of the SLR GT Championship. We're here for round 1. For the return of the GT League, and it's been a really long time since I've done one of these, and I'm glad to be back. I'm proud to say it's been a year, but we are returning for it with some familiar names. So I will run down the grid and tell you who's driving. As a familiar name, former champion Raul Simbaba racing today. We've also got Dylan Curtin, the Curtinator, who's currently on provisional pole, but time's obviously come down as we've got only 12 more minutes of this qualifying session to go. We've got Millix Jr. from the F1 side joining us today. Who's just a little bit off pole at the moment, but he's in his Corvette. Really nice looking Corvette. We've also got Dizzy Al returning, who's fairly close to pole at the minute, 2.5 tenths off. And then we've got a big gap to No Way Jose. We've also got Dory, the Italian stallion, returning. F1J has also came back for another go. We've also got Edgar Cole Merger from the F1 leagues. As he comes to the line now, will he be able to improve on his time? The answer is no. We've got West Ham Daz. He's a new entity to the. I think he raced in Tier 2. He may have. He's joined as like a reserve thing. I don't know if he's going to be racing more full time, but he's in a very nice looking Beetle. He's advertising the P1 league. I'll not talk too much about that for obvious reasons. We've also got Rear Wheel Man, who's also racing today. I don't know if this is full time or just today. We've got the Big Bad Bud and Scooby, and SLR EJ representing obviously SLR today. Obviously there's no teams this year for everyone that knows or doesn't know. It's just there's a little bit of banter going off here in qualifying. Between Dylan and Millix there. But yeah, I was saying there's no constructor this time round. It's all about the drivers like in the F1 leagues. It's also nice to get an onboard cam though. I don't know if I had this before. Probably did. Don't mind getting it with a few cars I suppose. As Dizzy is improving by 1/10.5, so he's going to get slightly close to that pole time. He's probably trying to get ahead of Millix. In behind there's not a lot of competition. It's all fairly even between the front guys, though, between the front 4. And they're really our main championship rivals, I think. Millix, Dizzy and Raul and the Curtinator. As Dizzy is improving by half a second. And he's going to be very close to that pole position by the end of this lap. And we'll see if he's been able to improve. Obviously the fuel load is going to go down very quickly. It's on ×5, so the more you run the better. As Dizzy comes to line now, will he be able to improve on his time? And there it is, pole position, provisional pole anyway. As Raul's going very slowly at the moment. Millix is improving by 2/10 at the moment. I think Dylan has picked because he's behind Millix again. So go on board with the German, who's at the back end of this top four. It's nice and smooth on the wheel. But as he comes to line now, will he be able to make a huge difference? Looks like he'll go ahead of Dylan, but not by much. As it looks like Dizzy and Raul seem to be a little bit of a world of their own. I think Dylan will join them. But Millix is using not the optimal line, missing the apex by quite a margin, but will it make a difference? As he comes to line now, will he be able to improve on his time and go further up the field? Yes, P3 has joined the top two, 2.5 temps back off of Dizzy at the moment. There's no one in behind's really improved to get anywhere near. I think Dory is best of the rest, but will Dylan Curtin be able to? He actually helped. He hated me calling him Curtin back in the day. That's his name. Deal with it. Yeah, it's Curtin, but we'll go with Curtin. It's a lot easier to say. As he's going purple by 1.5 tenths, so expect this to be fairly rapid from the Curtinator in the Nissan GTR. So he'll be hoping to claim this opening round and steal a march on his rivals. Cutting every corner, but he's cutting every corner. Don't really know what I'm trying to say. Dory's gone just ahead of Jose there, so he's starting to close the gap a little bit between the front lot of the field. And he's caught up to Millix again, I think. He's just there ahead of him. So a bit of slipstream as well will do him a bit of good in the Nissan. So he comes around the final corner now, and will he be able to get pole position away from Raul? The temporary pole position, I suppose, is 1.1 seconds down actually. Raul's improved. He comes to the line now. Will he be able to get pole? P2. Only P2. I thought he was on for pole there. As Millix comes in the pits for one last blast. We have 7 minutes left in qualifying. We'll run down further down the field. So it looks like Big Bad Bud is struggling in dead last. Scooby 5 seconds off the pace. Roma Man 4.6. And then you've got AJ 4.1 off. Edgar 4 seconds. 3.8 for Daz. 3.7 for F1J, who's I think just improved as well. Jose 2.9 off. Dory 2.3, but I think he's going to come to line to improve. In fact, we're a bit slipstream from Scoob. Will he be able to go closer? He does improve, but not by enough to make a difference. As we're on board with Dizzy there, and Raul's about to come to the line. Will he be able to improve and go further onto pole position? We're a bit slipstream from F1J. Will he be able to go a little bit further away from everybody else? 3/10 down, so that's not looking too promising for Raul at this point. But the fuel is starting to deplete a lot, I'm noticing. So maybe that's something we'll have to address at the next race. As Dylan is coming to the line now. Will he be able to get on pole position and displace Raul from the top spot? It doesn't look like it. 2/10 down. Millix is on an out lap. And we'll go on board Dizzy Al, who's improving by 1/10 of a second. That's not enough for pole, unfortunately. He needs to find another 4/10 on top of that. So he's got a lot of ground to make up in his Mercedes. As he comes around the final corner, drifting around the final corner, giving it everything, all the beans. But now with, I would say a bit of slipstream off Millix, but it's not really. He comes like now, will he be able to even get into P2? No, he's down on his time. Milix is a 10th up on his first sector time there, his first split time anyway. Will he be the one to make a difference here? Or is anyone improving? As it looks like Raul's going to be the next one to the line. Will he be able to improve on his time and basically secure pole position? As Raul comes to the line now, and does he improve? No, he's 10th down. And now we're back with the Nissan of Dylan Curtin. Will he be able to just find that extra little bit that he needs? As he's sliding out there, it was all sorts of sideways, but just about keeps in the right direction. Now will he sliding out there? So you see the rear end on that Nissan. It's everywhere as he comes into the pits, and that's probably the end of his qualifying, because as soon as it turns 52, that's the end of that. And we're looking at Milik. He's got a penalty, and he pulls into the pits, so that's a bit unfortunate. Dizzy Owl is probably the only one now who can do something about Raul at this point. He's half second off at the moment. We're a bit of slipstream from Edgar. Will he be able to get anywhere near his pole position as he comes to the line now? Is he going to be even beating the 31s? No, he's down by a 10th. But he's got another couple of laps to do something. He's going to follow Edgar on the outside. He's spun. He's gone too deep. Well, I said Dylan didn't have a lap. I think there's one last lap in this for these guys. Dory is on his out lap as well. Jose is improving. As AJ improved there, as he's gone just behind Jose. We're on board with Jose in the Mustang. The Ford Mustang. You discovered that the Mustang was good made by Ford before this dream started. Quite a funny story. He's 8/10ths up actually. So he's going to go ahead of Dory at this rate. So expect him to be probably under 2 seconds off of pole, which is probably best of the rest. As he comes around the final corner now, will he be able to improve and get anywhere near P4, I suppose? As he comes to line now, it's going to probably be a 33, 34, 3/10 out of Dory, second off of Milik. So they're sort of a word of their own. Milik has come to line to start his lap now. He's going to touch and go if he gets a lap in. Dizzy Al is going slow, so I think that's the end of him. We're on board with Dylan, who's all over the curbs, riding them curbs. It looks like to be the end of qualifying for Raul as well, as he's going slow. And Dylan is going purple. Very interesting at the last here. On board with Dylan Curtin. Will he be able to displace the German? He's half a 10th up as well. That's a big chunk of time to be found. I mean, it's nothing really, but oh Jesus, that is corner. I don't know if that was lag or otherwise, but he really used all the curbs and more, and he's got a penalty for it. Ooh, and that's the end of him. So Raul is your pole sitter, it seems. Unless Milik can get to the line to do anything. We'll have a look at his delta. He's 2/10ths up, so he might displace Dizzy, but we're going to offboard to send a message to everybody. And Milik did displace him, I think. Just waiting for that 52. And as soon as it clicks 52, then we'll start the race. There it is. So we have 13 drivers today of the 15. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all for the start of the GT race. Oh, Milik's in. Sorry. As we're all waiting, I think Milik's will be put in last. We're sort of waiting for something. Actually, they've already started. What a disaster that is. Milik's is in last. Dory has got himself up in second. I forgot about that. I was sat there waiting for the spectator cam and then it never came. Dylan is down to third. Dizzy Al in P4. At the moment he's getting squeezed out. F1J is all over the show, and that's going to allow No Way Jose past. And he's all over the curbs, which is allowing Daz through as well. Big Bad Bud as well, possibly, as they're going three wide. Into this corner is going to leave him inside, is it? No, but he's enough alongside. Big Bad Bud is trying to get past F1J. F1J's in the wall. He's in the wall and he's going to go all the way to the back. Milik's is making his way through the field already. I think he's had a bit of a disaster personally. He's heading it down inside into the chicane. He's getting his elbows out. He's got a bit of damage as well on the front end of that car. A bit more won't do him any worse. But yeah, surprisingly, Dory is in P2, which has allowed Dizzy Allen inside. Is it? Oh no, that is Dory. That's Raul ahead of him. Sorry about that. In the Mercedes. As it looks like Dylan's made his way through and Dizzy's going to try and follow him. AJ has left the session, so I presume he's crashed somewhere. But we're on board with Dizzy. He's going to go down inside and he's going to follow Dylan through, chasing after the leader. The person out of Kintro with all this really is Milik. He's got a bit of damage. I'm trying to find a decent camera angle. We're going to stick with this one for now. But Daz is up into P6. Maybe his race pace will be slightly better than his qualifying pace. No Way Jose is starting to close in on the front guys. Got a little bit of Dory, Dizzy and Dylan. 1, 2 and 3. Just like that. As he's on the grass getting all over the curb with his Bridgestone liveried car. And will he be able to get close to Dizzy and Dory as Dylan's all over the back of Raul? And starting to put on some major pressure on the German in the BMW. German driver in a German car. Any battles further back? It looks like Edgar has been overtaken by Big Bad Bud, I think. We've got Real Wheelman just in behind with Scooby in the Porsche. Nice. And F1J dead last, but he's been in the pits, I presume. But yeah, here's your race leader. We're on board with Dylan, who's chasing down Raul, trying to keep with him anyway. With Dizzy just in behind, starting to catch a little bit, and no damage between either of them. We've got Dory in P4, who's dropping Jose slightly. So Dory's got some decent race pace, it seems. The Italian. He got off the start, which is a change. He used to never get off the start and we'd have to restart every time. So that's nice. Daz is coming under pressure from Milik's. And Milik's is going to go around on the outside, is he? No, we're going to go on board with Milik's. And it's nice to have a cockpit cam. And will he be able to make his move on Daz? He'll be able to make a recovery drive because he's been robbed out of a 4th place start. And here he goes down the inside of Daz, and it's going to be easier than it looks, surely. He's got the inside line. Daz doesn't turn in on him. Very close racing from the two. And Milik's has now got the inside line down the hill. When he gets to the bottom of the hill anyway. And he's about to head down there. Late on the brakes. But Daz keeps the position, so fair play to him. So far, he's trying to find a bit of an opening though. Of the nose of that Corvette. It's a big old thing compared to the Beetle. Looks like it's going to eat him. Down the inside into the hairpin. And it looks like he's going to make the move this time. And Daz was a bit defensive towards that, and now he can make his way towards the top 5. Can Milik's. But for the lead of the race, it's kind of three guys. The undercut might be something that these guys will look at, especially the fuel, I suppose. That's going to go down. Maybe the overcut because of the fuel. The tyres don't seem to go down too much in the early part of this race. I don't know what tyres they're running. I'd have to have a look on the live timing thing. So super soft. They're all on super softs except for Edgar on softs and F1J on the mediums. So that's our answer to that. They're all on the same tyres, and Dylan is definitely a lot closer to Raul this time. 0.3 between the two, but he's unable to get close enough to even think about making a move. And Milix has already started to close that gap on Jose. Snails! Hello, Snails. You okay, my friend? But yeah, Milix is starting to really rapidly close that gap on Jose. And fair play to Dory, to be fair, to stick with the back of these three. In qualifying, he didn't quite have the pace, or he didn't quite have the lap to get anywhere near them, but he's not doing bad in the race. Let's be fair to him, but of the two, Dylan looks most likely to do something. Going around the final corner, and as we start lap 5 of this race, obviously there's only 20 laps in this race, and that's like no sprint race, no, nothing like that, like there used to be, just the one race format. But the Nissan just sticking in behind, biding his time. Ah, thank you very much. There's a half second between two. We're expecting a really good battle. Obviously it's a mandatory one stop, so they will have to pit at some point, and obviously the tyres will probably die off by the end of the race anyway. For them to even think about it. Mind you, Dylan's tyres look a bit worse than, let's say, Raul's, for example. He seems to have probably riding less curbs. Or the BMW might just be better on tyres either way. I'm a bit unsure on that, as Milix is making his move on Jose, and it looks like he is going to make the move. They're going side by side between the two. Jose's got the inside line, but I think he's just gonna... Is he letting him go? Or has Milix just gone very late on the brakes? I think he kind of let him go there. Probably realising it wasn't his fight, and that frees up Milix to try and get the top lot. He's showing some really good pace. I mean, he got robbed off of a P4, but it happens. It's GT Sport. What do we expect? But yeah, Dory's starting to drop off the back of Al, probably where his tyres starting to drop off, obviously. Milix has got damage. None of the front lot do, so that's his handicap, I suppose. And yeah, this gap has been about a second for a while now. As Dylan's all over the grass there. He always hit the wall. No damage though. He's got a bit of a penalty for hitting the wall though. Half a second penalty. He'll get rid of that pretty easily, I think. I'd have thought anyway, at some point in the lap. Oh, there goes Milix. He must have got it all wrong, because he's got engine damage. He's got everything. He's got the damage of death. There's Big Bad Buddy's looking at Edgar, and also Daz has engine damage. So I wonder if he got caught up in that. And Jose's got engine damage. Maybe Jose might have went back at Milix. I'm not sure. That's 3 guys with engine damage now. But that promotes Real Wheelman, who's been keeping his nose nice and clean, up into P5. And that fends off any threat of anyone catching Dory in this race. Dizzy Al has dropped off the back of the front two, and Raul is starting to stretch his legs a little bit. Now, I'd suspect that Dylan's going to be the first one into the pits due to the tyres. Just looking at them. So expect an undercut. Dizzy Al's gone on the softs, so they're taken to the end. Obviously, I think everyone else will be going on the softs because it has to have a different tyre compound for this race. So he's gone very deep through there. Going for the exit though, I suppose. Look further back if there's any battles. This is a little bit of a battle between Big Bad Bud and Edgar for what is P6, and that'll be the only time I'll ever say Edgar's in P6. He'd only dream of being there in an F1 race. I think he'd agree with me with that one, to be fair though. But I think he'd been practicing all day, Edgar. So fair play to him. Scooby's about 3.5 seconds behind as well, and these are damaged boys. F1J's having a bit of fun now with that. Oh! They both crashed. Oops. And they both got big damage. And Jose's got a little bit of damage. And that's how Millic's through. Big Bobber's picked up a penalty. Looking back at the front, Dizzy Ala's pit. That went kind of unnoticed. So he's going for a bit of an undercut. I don't know what the pit lane loss is here. He's done a bit of fuel as well. He should get to the end on that, no problem. So he's about 16 seconds off the lead, and we'll see if he gains on anything. And what tyre has he gone on? Softs. Okay. Just making sure he's using them 2 tyre compounds. And he's going for the fastest lap of the race so far with them soft tyres. And yeah, Raoul is definitely stretching his legs on Dylan. It's the tyres, look at the difference. Especially that the right front. Massive difference. And I think Big Bad Bud is pit. F1J is back in the pit lane. So, everybody else is as well for the engine damage and whatever else damage. But Dizzy is closed about 2 tenths on that, 2 or 3 tenths on the front guys. I don't know if it'll be enough to get anywhere near, but he's doing the right thing here by going on the tyres early. Because the softs will get to the end, no problem. And look at Raoul's tyres, he's on the supers, and these don't look bad after 9 laps. So... Oh, Dory's gone on the supers. You naughty Dory. As Jose leaves the room. That will probably mean Dory's going to get disqualified for not using 2 tyres. Dylan started to rack up the penalties as well. Ugh. There's a pits and so does Raoul, so this is the pit lap. So what tyres are they going on? I wonder, probably the softs. I like to think it's the softs, if they know the rules. Raoul is on the softs, and so is Dylan. In terms of Dizzy Al, Well, that's the undercut for you. I didn't think it was that big. I don't know. Dizzy Al is underfueled massively. Oh, he's not getting to the end. Ooh. That's why he's in the lead by so much, because they fueled their fuel tank full. And look at Dizzy's. Oops. Well, he's pitting again. So there was two, unless Dizzy and Jar's joined us. Bit late. Better late than never, I suppose. Milix has just got past Edgar, I think. I don't know if Milix can get that fuel to the end. Probably heard a comment, I didn't see it. Yeah, this race is starting today. I think if Dylan had set the pace early on, it had a chance, because it was quicker initially, but I struggled since. Yeah, especially in this stint, he's lost about a second. I mean, he lost a couple at the back end last stint because his tyres went. If the Raul, I mean, Raul's lap time last lap was actually slower, which is interesting, but he's more consistent across the board. Current lap second, but this looks like a better lap from him. But Dylan's still gaining, so I don't know if he's extending the track to gain an advantage, or he's just saving his tyres as well, or I don't know. But Dizzy's starting to pull a gap, maybe, that he could slot into. Maybe the two-stop will work for him. I mean, it's a bit of a bold strategy, I have to admit. I mean, he's only going in the bits to refuel. I mean, he'll be coming in this lap, in fact. He's got a 9-second gap and he's putting in less fuel than everybody else, I presume. Here comes Raul across the line. Same with Dylan. And Dizzy should just come out just behind these. To come out ahead of Dory, surely. And there's Al. And here's Dory. It's going to be very close into turn one. Dory's got the momentum right around the outside. Or is he going to hold it down the inside? Al. It's going to be very close. The side by side going up the hill. And it looks like Dory's going to get that position. And there's about a 14-second gap as Al has filled his car. Will field time to fuel get him to the end? They've been on these for about 2 laps and they've done a quarter. I don't think we thought this through too much, did we? I thought R5's a good number, to be honest. I didn't really know. Yeah. He might get him to the end. Dizzy will definitely get to the end. But here he is on Dory, or a bit of slipstream. Will he be able to get past? I think he'll move somewhere there. But Dizzy has got past Dory. But I think he'd be fairly happy with P4 if you'd told him before the race. And Dizzy could start trying to close that gap in on the front two. He could probably put softs on, super softs on. If he'd have ran 2 compounds then, but decided to run the softs. But if Dylan can do his best laps, like the 32.42, then he's quicker. but a 35.1 is not really what he needs. And Dizzy really needs to bury himself in the 33s to get anywhere in this race. He needs to be like a second a lot quicker, or a little bit more. He's about 13 seconds off the lead with 7 laps to go, so maybe even 2 seconds a lap. And I don't believe that's possible. I don't know what his fastest lap of the race is. Actually, I do know what his fastest lap of the race is because he's done the fastest lap of the race. 33.3, and they're running 34s or 35s. So he needs to do pretty much fastest lap everywhere. So I don't think so. No, he's 4 times off his quickest on this lap, which means it'll be a low 34 possibly, or high 33. And what's this lap for Raoul? 35.1. And a 34.6, that's half second in Dylan Curtin's favour. But he's got 5 seconds of penalties, so he's got to get rid of them at some point. And here comes Dizzy to the line. And he's done a 34.3. So 3 tenths quicker than Dylan. And about 8 tenths quicker than Raoul. He needs more than that. So his only hope of winning, and it's not a bad shout to be fair, is they run out of fuel. So he isn't. In fact, Dory's in a worse boat than both of them. I mean, you've got 6 laps to do on that. And that might be a push. But I think they've been in that fuel about 5 laps, and it's about half. So it can be very close. Someone I haven't spoke about really, Scooby, who's currently P6, kind of minding his own business. I expect Milik to start closing that at some point. I think he'd pit again. With Bud P9. F13 P10, and then Daz currently last. I think he's just been in the walls a bit. Going into turn 1, and Dylan was half second quicker on that lap, and you can see the tyre drop off slightly there. Whereas Dizzy Al kept it in the 33s there at that time, so he gained about probably about 1.5 seconds on Raoul that lap. And that's more what he needs. He needs a bit more now though, because he lost out in the previous lap. But he needs to keep himself in that 33 and hope their lap times just drop into the 36s or something. I mean, he's 10 seconds off the lead, and that is coming down all the time. It's under 10 seconds now, and now it's over 10 seconds, and now it's been under 10 seconds. The fuel looks to be okay. So Al's hope is that tyres go, or he's quicker. But this lap doesn't seem particularly special since he's gained 1.1 seconds in pretty much. And it's... I think he got damage or something, because Raoul is struggling. And Dylan's struggling even more with his penalty. So this is anyone out of the top 3 really. It'd be nice to see Milik in this battle as well, but that was a bit unfortunate. Dory comes into the bit, so he's going to run out of fuel at the end. We spoke about that just now. Maybe they've turned their engine mode down to just try and save a bit of fuel. That would make sense. Dylan's lost out with a 35.2. To be fair, Dizzy's was only a little bit quicker, but Raoul's was a 36.3, and that was 2 seconds quicker, and that is what Dizzy needs to win the race. With 4 laps to go, he needs to gain like 2 seconds a lap. I think Ralph's turned his engine down to try and save fuel. Because his fuel is slightly higher than Dylan's. I think the fuel saving. Whereas Dizzy's 2-stop is starting to come to its own, really. And it's a strategy, it's the unfancied strategy where I thought he wouldn't come back at it. I mean, I expected him to come back at it due to the tyres, but not like this. I mean, it's close 16-second gap to about 7 in like 3 or 4 laps. He's doing what he needs. And they are definitely fuel saving, because Dizzy's out, the fuel wasn't that much different. And he hasn't gained that much that lap, so they save for a lap. But Dylan is really now putting the pressure on Raoul in the same way. As Al comes to the line now, and he does a 34.2 like he did lap before. So yeah, Dizzy is catching it. I think he pit on lap 12 or 13 to a 16-second gap, and now it's 6. So to answer your question, yes, he's catching very much. Like Dylan's last lap, 35.9. There is saving fuel. I can tell you, Dizzy is not saving fuel. I think they're fuel saving a little bit to try and get to the end. And also the tyres. If you look at, especially Dylan's tyres compared to Dizzy's, there's a big difference. But Dizzy's 6 seconds now behind with 4 laps to go. He's going to catch them easily. If Real Wheelman makes his... Was it Real Wheelman that made a stop? I don't know, but Edgar's in P6 now. Scooby's in P5, so I think a few people have messed up the fuel slightly. There's an F1J between these two as well now. He's got to gain 2 seconds a lap, does he? I think to win this race. Dylan's 1.2 off. There's about 4.7 off of Dylan.